I found that. Classic makeup, resurrections, masterpiece, and she see I passed the things. What's people? Who gives a fuck? I'm not knowing. Now ask me about old people, names, real Owens. World is mine if you can't get rid of it. I'm a king, not a rat. Get it? And I don't pay chicks. They used to pay these for visit. To my married self and exquisite. Just pay on 30 balls. My garage got 30 cars, 4 5s and 6s. This stuff is great. Feelings left over in love. When it's lost so far. No one lets it let it. I feel like that's all. Give me peace now. With your so nice. Dance kid, singing in the rain, with it caught fish, but slinging all the cane. You be say we kings, but that's a king that got slain. A nigga caught life and bringing them things up to me. I'm only here to say, most of y'all scared to say. I pop up with my show and take a layer away. Faith in God, I said my prayers okay. All jokes aside, I been sitting in the kitchen where the cold got fried. I pour liquor the same spot where my bros and died. I told the bitch I'm chilly ho, I'm cold inside. Watch, all frozen inside. I used to trap up in the spot and I was dope. You're gonna burn it on honey. You're gonna do it every time. This is salutations. When I'm from, every night's a Christian allocation. I'm 60 back on top of Christian houses waving. Sunny crosses, I think I watch my sleep. This is gonna ride. We're gonna see what the music right now. Can't go to the dealer, copy the drops and have it. I was telling this bitch that I got lost in habits. Let me play DJ right now. Just protocols already established. They say they make it man that was never established. You only get scared when it's fans on the patches. Baby girl said that her hair was like magic. Jim Jones. Disappeared. Fuck, I'm like, yo, I wish this bitch disappeared. Jim Jones. Switch different gear. When I wear the diamonds in my wrist is clear. Took the spring water with electrolytes. She's not better than Nas, but I'm a gym fan. Just one. I like the. Maybe if it's a poor appearance, Dylan gave me a deal with the portion. Yeah, I like this. Okay. It's gonna get real interesting. It's gonna get real interesting. He's flirting, yeah, I'm gonna give me that is gonna move. Because so here's how it works. My mind just saw something that I didn't fully recognize that I felt. Right? So my mind just confirmed something to itself. Like in up here, subconsciously, we just confirmed something that I mean, I know what it is, that this is what I've been like, this feeling is what I've been looking for. So I hope they don't take me off with the music. Well, buddy. Buddy. Well, I like but it's miracle. Fast no radio, one is driving terrible. Black Star, West Side Gun, song called Peppers. I got your digest, not in it. Super fine, BY, these hoes hilarious, the cardiac stallions, cardiac tanks up, no essential bank up, so what you find up now, baby. Look, things without a way, ready to be banged. God raises some flavors and balance. X amount of moments, X amount of talent. The wizard is a fraud, but you afraid for. So back to the no rainbow. He don't sit it, go and get the teal message, so I live. Stars at the story got a moving different. Goofy niggas. Feeling jeans, like it's a true religion. If it isn't love, it must be new edition. Fly guys, now we don't believe in superstition. Superman and man through the system without supervision. How? Spirit of regular talent. The voice of the deep, deeper than the atom sound. Yeah, even more than before. I love you. Said what I said. Saw such age boy, but always calling the Lord. Down back to those hands like a door on the floor. Yeah, I'm never silent, always speaking up. Personally, I find that she cowardly niggas speak as fuck, but just no peace too much can never be enough. Louder than the bomb. Because, okay, 49, 49. All right, that's the longest album there. It's funny to catch that because I was gonna say, I'm like, this is why I love music. This is just, let me shut up. The way people put it is full of generational wealth. Standing on their ancestors' shoulders after burning down. I know what I'm about to talk about. I'm unstoppable. And here's why. Like, I know music is going to keep me going. Art is going to keep me going, right? Like, to know that there's more music to be found. Yeah, I'm forever looking for the best music. And that's why I get up. Truly, that's why I get up every morning. Is to see what the music at. What new music is out? Who dropped? Where the love at? Where is the music? And that's where everything is at in the music. In the books too, but it's in the music.
My queue is almost up, so it's my signature. But it's one of those things. Like again, I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna go going forward. You know, how many people may see this, if any ever. But if you just sat with me for 10 minutes and listened to music with me while I ate my sandwiches, shout out to you, for real. Just mad respect. You're here for a reason. I respect it. And I mean, the music probably cost you. Like, that's what I'm
Michael Irvin was indicted on 2 counts of drug possession Monday. He faces up to 20 years in prison if convicted. This stems from a March 4th incident in which police found Irvin, former teammate Alfredo Roberts, and 2 female companions in an Irvin, Texas motel room, along with substantial amounts of marijuana and cocaine.
Michael Irvin. A little switch up in the vibe. Major switch up in the vibe, but. Oh. I love that. That's what this might make me a little feel away.
I be a black woman. I give it a black heart. I can't be there for her. I can't be there for her. Whatever you need to get me that heart at the door.
Where's the children? Things go on. You're sending moonlight. Dang, boy, you look good. Hey. Here's what I know. If these don't go nowhere, it's because somebody's out to get me. I put it like I can be that far, that hard to do. Let me take the way. Hey, me and who? Well, we can go no face, no case, babe. Things will get wrong. You're spending moonlight. Oh. That's the way. Where's the children? Hey, I wouldn't mind if my wife see this. It'd be a nice. Hey, if you see this and you think he might be it, and you think you might be it, just drop a comment. Just drop in the comments, like hit me with it. Just drop the hand emoji in the comments, the raise hand emoji. I agree with you. I'm not asking for the rules or like how. I'm putting some little things. I mean, you know how some people post ridiculous nut stuff on live streams and. I might be skipping. We'll see where this goes. Mark E. Basie. Got to see him in concert. 2019. Caught a piece of bread in my throat. Get the crust. That, my friends, is why we eat in bites, small bites, slowly. I didn't even, it wasn't a big bite. It was just that crust, that piece of crust got in my throat. But I keep saying it's a weird thing to come to this space like this. I'm like, I need to talk about why I'm wearing my cowboy hat. Welcome to my, yo, 15. That's where I'm trying to find my groove, my vibe. Maybe we do 5, 10 minutes of music first, and I'm just doing whatever I'm doing, getting ready, getting set. It's like, what's up? Welcome to Marcus Uninterrupted. I am Marcus Uninterrupted. Uh, it's funny. Like, this is about to be episode 5, technically. And it'll have been recorded within 24 hours, and then, excuse me, like 10 hours of episode 4 and 24 hours of episode 3. I just did episode 3 yesterday, not in the evening, maybe in the evening. And then episode 4 this morning. So that's what it's funny, like to call them episode and the numbering them. You know, how I look at it, I'm like, I don't. Something in my throat. I don't too much have that same whatever they say the number one fear in the world is public speaking. Not for me. Again, I've been doing public speaking since I was a kid. I've been plays and pep rallies and presentations, you name it, MCing, open mics, whatever, giving speeches, literally since I was, as far as I can recall. But I don't know, this isn't public speaking to me. Maybe that's why. Like to me, this is not public speaking. And I don't know if anybody does see it that way. Like if this is, I mean, this is absolutely what's gotten me better at my public speaking, man, because I can riff, because I can think in real time. But also, I mean, a big part of me just sitting with my thoughts, getting clear on what I believe. You know, talking about my books back there. One of the songs I was listening to reminded me, is like, and I heard it differently when he said it. The guy in the song, Locksmith, he said, want to keep it from these niggas, put it in a book. Flipping the old saying of, want to keep it from a nigga, put it in a book. But no, like for real. You want to, that's why I'm like reading Careless People. I'm getting so caught up in Careless People that I'm forgetting it's a memoir. That book reads like a novel. But here's why. That's why like turn the TV off matters, because Succession, it feels like this book reads like Succession watches. And you sit there and you're like, okay, well, because the exact same things happen. Well, you know, there are points where she clearly is feeling an affinity toward Mark that should, because his humanity is coming out. And that's the thing of it. It's like, you know, okay. What I'm sitting here looking at today and distilling is that wealth is consciousness, right? Like I asked ChatGPT to define, that bread did something to me. It did a number on me. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's bad because when I put it in my mouth, I consciously thought that probably looked like a bigger bite than it was because of the way I ate it. And then when that piece got caught, I was like, well, I'm trying to play it off like it didn't happen. Now you suffer. That's what happened. Try to look cool, try to be cool, try to play it off. When if you had just been straight up from the beginning, easier to solve. Maybe. Anyway, I think that was the last one. Wealth is consciousness, right? What is wealth? What is defining wealth? It being your ability to shape reality, to shape the world around you, whether that be information, monetarily, social capacity, like influence, cultural knowledge, awareness. Because even think about this, aesthetic wealth is important. You cannot have all the money in the world, but if you have an eye for art, you can make your home look as well. You can make your life aesthetically pleasing in a level that the person with the most money in the world cannot, because they just don't have the eye, they don't have the taste. All right. If you're an academic and your life is about learning or about like academics, about intelligence and knowledge, well, then intellectual wealth is going to maybe not even matter more, but is going to be worth more. I'm supposed to be transcribing always. I forgot. It is what it is. Uh, but yeah, that wealth as a way to shape the world around you, as a way to shape reality, is what consciousness is also. It's like wealth is the externalized consciousness, consciousness internalized wealth. I think that's beautiful. Um, but in saying that, the reason I brought it up was, thinking about the disconnect between like the wealth gap. So then, and think about that. Okay, the wealth gap is an information gap, which is a consciousness gap, which is a humanity gap. It's crazy that, because nigga does not mean black. Nigga means unintelligent. It means ignorant. It means unaware. It means uninformed. It means not knowledgeable. It means ignorant. It means unconscious. It means not wealthy, to be honest, because that's not fair. The last piece, it means not wealthy. That's not fair, because the word and the idea are social constructs, which that's the piece of it. Like, that's where it really comes from, and it's beautiful in that way. Because as I was saying in the one I dropped earlier, changing my perception of me can redefine your reality. Books. I was like, yeah, I mean, that's not fair to say, because when saying that, what I based it as to say, to not be not wealthy, and actually it's poverty mindset, right? So it's not, the reason I went deeper is because to say not being wealthy is a byproduct of being a nigga, well, then you put it on the being, because there's a reason that we've been subjugated and that we're not. And it has nothing to do with being niggas, but everything to do with being niggas. I thought I stopped recording. It looked like, because when I start getting into my get down, it seemed like somebody don't be wanting me to say what I'm saying. No, I mean, here's even within that. Do I believe that? Do I believe that there is not somebody, but that there is a system in play that is making sure that I don't get my message out? No. What I do know is exactly what I'm saying, is that I could write the best book in the world. If the powers that be either don't don't never see it themselves, right, because of the algorithm or the AI or the process not getting it in front of them, or they completely, turn away from it, ignore it as if it didn't happen, avoid it for their own purposes, or just as a product of the system, even if it is seen, even if it is appreciated, it won't reach the people it needs to, so it doesn't matter at that point anyway. And I don't even believe that, really. It's just something funny between thoughts and knowings and beliefs. That is a thought. It is something I think, that it's possible that it won't matter if it doesn't reach the right people. But what I know, based off what I believe, is that regardless, it's going to build me. Right? This builds me regardless of who sees it, how many people see it, when they see it, where they see it, any of that. This makes me better, so that when I go out and serve in the world and serve just on a day-to-day basis in my existence, right, it's going to shift things. This is a form of wealth, right? So this is me extracting wealth. So again, like, even if I'm not reshaping others' realities through it, I'm reshaping mine, my own perception. From a physical perspective, I'm reshaping how I look to myself. A mental, spiritual, like all across the board, I'm changing in real time. As to be able to match, what am I even talking about? Yeah, my perception has to be able to match the reality that imagination is consciousness. So in order to match the reality that I've imagined, I have to reshape my perception of my conscious perception of self, or consciously reshape my perception of self. Right. So the imagination, maybe that's a piece of it, is that consciousness is internalized wealth. Imagination is the bridge between both. Like curiosity, creativity, imagination. I mean, that's what I've been saying for the longest, is that the bridge between, like, manifestation rides on imagination's back. The bridge between idea and execution. No, sorry. The bridge between, what am I thinking? Imagination is the piece that allows you to see it. I guess you say, what am I thinking? That is me, like, getting clear on my thoughts in real time. Imagination is different than conscious. And that's what I'm thinking of, is like, that's where you think of imagination with kids. You think of consciousness with adults. And they're not the same thing. Right? Like, this is a conscious effort because I'm active with it. Right? It's a process that's occurring that I'm controlling, feels like the wrong word. Which is now, I pull back in, imagination is like, it feels like I'm producing what pops up in my head. I don't know. That's something I've got to sit and think about. Imagination as manifestation, right, is what I'm saying. Like, how does that work? Because that's really the piece that I'm trying to bridge, where I think we've lost touch with our understanding of our human power and what we're capable of as humans, is to like, to think of something and then to immediately put it into the world by acting on it. Like, that's what I'm trying to say, is that you have consciousness which dreams and has ideas and its own thought, like your thoughts and beliefs, right? Your system, who you are, your identity. And that allows you to have ideas, imaginations, right? Like, to expand the identity. So it's, I am this, I've become this, or I want to be this, right? So if it's, I am this, what can I be next? What more can I become? Imagination. If it's, I've become this, okay, what's possible in what I've become? Imagination. And then what more can be, or like, what am I looking to become? Okay, how do I get there? So those are all pieces of imagination, in which, if you can get that part, I think we can get that part down. The ability to sit and dream. You don't have to be asleep to dream. I would go as far as to say life is the dream. You know, like, life is the, Drake say scared to, he had a line say, scared to close my eyes at night because being awake is what all my dreams are like. Something like that. It's like, yeah, and I get that. The only reason I want to go to sleep is because I know, I'd be like, man, I need more energy so I can get back to it. Like, that's genuine what I've been thinking. So I'm like, I need to go to sleep so that I can be at full, because I want to be at 100% always. I'm like, man, if I can find a way to be at 100% always, and that's wealth. That's what wealth brings you. Is the not will never be 100% always. But what wealth gives us is the ability to build a reality that allows you to, that facilitates your perception, your imagination. Right? So that's what I'm like. Wealth gives you that ability. It is the thing that bridges idea and execution. You can have all the ideas in the world, but if you don't have the wealth to bring them out, they'll never exist. Yeah, I just dropped some shit. Excuse me. I'm not supposed to be cussing on this. I just dropped some stuff, boy. That was it. That was 30 minutes right there. That's. But my thing, I said I wasn't going anywhere. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this goes. I mean, like, should I just be sitting here all? Because generally, I didn't say why not. I mean, at least till my mom gets home. That's one thing I'm like, I love my mother, but I'm ready for her. I'm just ready to be alone, so I don't have to. Marcus uninterrupted. Well, that's an interruption. To be honest, that is an interruption. She's not an interruption, but the me not being alone is an interruption. You know. So I'm what I come here for. I didn't come here to talk about the books and the wealth and the consciousness. Not necessarily. I mean, obviously, can't talk about whatever comes out, but I'm in here trying to build this, get this Claude or ChatGPT to build this app for me. I don't. Well, my thing with this is I don't know what these things are actually like. They claim so much. They claim to be capable of so much. Like that. ChatGPT didn't quite catch that. Please try again. What? I forgot. I can get the transcript from here. So it is what it is. Still, do your job. I guess maybe what I can do is read my right. What am I doing? It's called Agora. Agora is the app. It to say, oh, I don't know. I mean, it's fintech. It's a community building app. Okay. What I decided, what just crossed my mind was thinking I may go ahead and end because nobody's gonna watch past 35 minutes. Um, it's not gonna happen. I don't think, and I'm okay with that. Like that's not a problem. You know, it's not a problem. Agora is a multifunctional platform that combines elements of social collaboration, capital pooling, and community governance. It integrates features like project management, crowdfunding and investment pooling, and real-time community interaction. The app's core is to support creators, communities, and emerging leaders in co-creating projects while aligning financial incentives transparently. Agora solves the fragmentation between creator collaboration, funding, and governance. Currently, creators and communities struggle to coordinate creative workflows, raise capital collectively, and maintain transparent, inclusive decision making. Agora provides one unified platform where users can organize projects, raise and manage capital pools, and engage in community governance, all in one place. It empowers emerging leaders and creators to mobilize culture as an asset class, enabling fans, creators, and investors to participate meaningfully. The primary audience includes creators, artists, entrepreneurs, cultural leaders who want to build projects and with direct fan and community participation. Secondary audiences are emerging leaders and social innovators who want a tool to organize, fund, and govern initiatives collaboratively. Also, investors and fans interested in participating in creator-aligned capital pools and community governance will find Agora valuable. And that says a lot. Like I'm thinking, okay, that Sunrise Movement didn't have an app is a problem. If there was no Sunrise Movement HQ app, and I don't mean like it just that's what pops into my head. There's no slight to Sunrise. Shout out to them. They gave me a start last year. But I don't think Monopoly is bad when Monopoly works. You know what I'm saying? All in one, all inclusive. Nobody bashes the Hard Rock. And I'm sure they are decimating local economies as far as like small businesses and whatnot, like restaurants and even now that they're not. I mean, obviously tourism brings people, but also eliminates the. So I don't know. It puts everything in house, which that's like that's my thing. I'm all for the one stop shop. Here's what I'm for the one stop shop for things that don't yet exist and that need. and that pulling it from too many different places. I mean, I'm the one-stop shop where you can send me to the other places I gotta go, and I can always like reset, come back to home, and then go back out. I don't like the we've put here. I say we and people. Well, we are people and people is we. That's the thing. We put people in a position where they have to go out, and find things themselves, and that's not a problem, except for that we've not taught them how to do it. We've not taught people how to research, how to find information. I was like, yeah, you could say want to keep it from a nigga put in a book. Niggas can want to read all they want to. They got to know what to read, right? So when people talk, they say the motto is read what you like until you like to read. I get that, and I agree with that, and I've said it myself. But the truth is, what people like to read is stuff that's fairly easy to read and simple and not gonna make them think a whole lot. And that tends to be like for somebody who doesn't like to read already, they're not really. I don't find that they grow in there. I don't see that happening too much. Like even for me, and I love to read, and still when it comes to stuff that's not super entertaining, yeah, I have a hard time sitting with it for the long. Like I have a hard time. How long does it look? And being honest, saying I enjoy it. Like, but that's what this kills people. I love it because sheesh, it's a memoir that reads like a novel. If you didn't know any better, you would think these stories were all made up. And you get to a point, you get lost in it. I keep having to reread paragraphs and even almost whole chapters because I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Did I just miss an idea, like it, or something that will connect? And I'm like, oh, that's what she was saying this whole time. She was alluding towards something. And you finally catch it because the moment is so visceral and real that you can't. And that's kind of like, that's how it goes. Like the book flows, it's beautiful. Succession does the same thing. Billions, even Suits a little bit. But like those shows that they blur the line between what is and what isn't, because what is what isn't, and what isn't is. And how do you know what's the difference if there literally is no difference? Like that's the thing, is like when the difference becomes not a difference, is there a difference? They're different by definition, by core, but by there's a word I'm looking for, and I want to say my bringing manifestation back and execution, like that. But that when it exists in the real world, you're like, well, it looks the same to me, which is why discernment matters. But that's what like it gets tough to have discernment when think about it. The people that are supposed to have discernment are the ones creating stuff that we say, to make things more user friendly or more intuitive or easier for it. I'm like, yo, hear what I'm saying? Okay. When I get to stuff and I say, yo, if I need it simplified, it needs to be simplified. That's just a fact. If I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is too much, it's too much. If I'm looking at it and saying it's too much and I'm not willing to go into it, it's definitely too much. Now I know that, and still, somebody can say, well, how do you? And I'm not at all the litmus test, the foundation, the baseline for. But as far as intelligence and consciousness, yeah, I'm a lot of it. I have it because I've integrated so many pieces of it. I've defined it for myself. So yeah, I know what's real on my human side. Like when I'm like, that doesn't taste good because it's just bad. Versus when I know there's something I don't like about it. I'm not a fan of burrata. I don't like Swiss cheese. I don't like blue cheese. I don't like that. That is something that I prefer not to have. I'm not a fan of this thing. Right? That is too when I guess it's a beautiful thing to understand. Like that's why community and collaboration is so important, because my ability to say that and then for somebody else to be like, me neither. And then if then the reason why, now we're getting into, okay, I'm understanding myself a little bit deeper based off everybody else. But Yeah, when it's things that there's no difference between, right? When it's negligible at best, which is a thing. I mean, I get why people don't want to do discernment. It just and now I'm kind of rambling, thinking out loud. So that extra 10 minutes was just for funsies. Here's the app pitch, and I'm out. Agora is a next generation platform designed to unify creative collaboration, capital mobilization, and community governance into one seamless digital space. By integrating project management tools with capital pooling mechanisms and real-time social engagement, Agora empowers creators, emerging leaders, and their communities to co-create and finance projects transparently and collectively. See, that just made me think of is like that integration. Vertical integration is I got that from Nip, and it just makes so much sense to me because I understand vertical integration as a natural process, and even more, I abide by vertical integration and horizontal alignment. Right, so stacking and connecting, and then if you're really rounding out, right. So if you then go circular around the perimeter, you really build a foundation. But if you really want to have a strong base, something to move from, vertical integration is not the strong base. That's building upward, obviously. But preparation, understanding that you cannot build vertically unless you build horizontally. And you gotta build vertically going down. See, that's where I really think people get lost. But and maybe that's kind of the thing of the difference. What you see is here, and maybe even here. What you don't see is here. That's the difference. And if you're not able or willing to go look and dig for the roots and see where they lead, and that takes time. It takes change. Call this change. And that is people, for whatever their reasons, they run from that. Can't speak to it. I can, but diagnosis is valuable because it's not, you can't really put a plan of action together unless you know what the problem is. But there are also plenty of times where we just know what we should be doing. So no need to diagnose the problem. Just put the solution in play. All right. Do I feel now? Like there's, and maybe that's just something I'm thinking and telling myself. There's no need to diagnose the problem across the board. Like the one what's understood need not be explained, and if it need be explained, explain it through understanding, not through explanation. Yeah, yeah. Explain it in a way that is, yeah. The problem: creators and communities today face siloed tools, collaboration platforms disconnected from funding sources, and governance structures that lack transparency and accountability or accessibility. This fragmentation hinders the full potential of cultural mobilization and shared ownership. Our solution, Agora, consolidates collaboration, crowdfunding, and governance into a single app where creators can organize workflows, raise capital through community investment pools, and enable fans and stakeholders to participate actively in decision making. It turns culture into an asset class, democratizing access to creative capital and influence. Who it's for? Creators, artists, entrepreneurs, cultural innovators seeking direct fan and community involvement, emerging leaders and social innovators who need a collaborative infrastructure for organizing, funding, and governing initiatives, fans, investors, and community members eager to participate in creator-aligned capital and governance. Agora is more than an app. It's an ecosystem designed to accelerate emergent human creativity and collective wealth building. That's that. So yeah, I mean, on the app side, and that's just one thing. Kind of talking about myself now. Anyway, like I said, I think that's is I do. I wanted Is it Claude? Why doesn't Claude's little app thing work? Because none of the inspiration apps are popping. Hmm. Is it me? I don't know. It's probably too. It's almost too easy to pull the camera out, record, and drop this on YouTube. I mean, at any point, anywhere, ever, just doo-doo. Hmm. Yeah, that's crazy. And you get the transcript for sure. Yeah, we're in a different time. That's the thing. Like this is well. Me, I got two phones and a MacBook. Like, I got a Google Pixel Pixel 9 Pro XL. I got an iPhone. I don't even know which 15 Pro Max. I got my MacBook Pro. Right. Oh, and I mean it's funny because people having their whole insane those setups, and I don't have a problem. It is what it is. I don't need all that. I've said for long, I'm a walking studio. I got everything I need for research, product. I mean, like there's nothing I can't do right here. I can build not a world, the world right here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Peace, peace, peace. I love y'all.